the Jobs for Justice, Tennessee Jobs for Justice, as well as the Nashville movement. And we have joining us again Ms. Megan Mickeledge, as well as Mr. Eli, a student at Vanderbilt University. And of course, Eli and Megan, let me welcome both of you back to the show, and of course, Eli, you to the show. Let's have you, Eli, to give us some information relative to your organization, and I think that you represent Vanderbilt University. Why don't you talk about your organization and your relationship to the Nashville movement?
Certainly. My name is Eli Fagali. I'm representing Vanderbilt Students in Nonviolence. We're a student organization at Vanderbilt University, and we seek to find ways to use nonviolence as a means towards social change in the 21st century. We are part of the Nashville movement, as part of the student wing of the movement. We've been working with the Nashville Homeless Power Project and just more generally with the Nashville movement, trying to organize students in the Nashville community to get behind this growing movement. And we're trying to represent the youth, because I think too often now young kids are being steered towards more corporate jobs, and not the community aspect of social movements is being lost. And so we're trying to find ways to re-energize the youth in that respect.
Very good. Yeah. And of course, Megan, this is another of the many organizations that make up the Nashville movement. Now, in reference to your organization, and I think you might be familiar with this whole cab controversy, what can your organization, or what has your organization done in reference to dealing with this particular item?
Well, the primary thing that's in the mission of Jobs with Justice is that at organizations we work with pledge to stand up and be there for somebody else's struggle. And so we believe that that's a value that's fundamentally critical in this society, and it's there, and we want to lift it up, right? That we're a society that takes care of each other, and we care about each other's struggles, and we're going to come out and stand up for each other's struggles, and that's what we do. So, you know, you see students and faith leaders and union leaders and other just community members coming out to stand up and bear witness when the Metro Nashville Taxi Drivers Alliance speaks truth to power. So that's one very positive thing. But the other thing is that, you know, we want the cab companies to know, and we want the Metro Taxi, or the Metro Transportation Commission to know that as far as Nashville's cab drivers go, the community is watching.
That's right.
So there is a commission. Now, why don't you, have you had conversation with this commission? What's the attitude in reference to that? What has been said in reference to that?
We're actually very hopeful about our work with the commission, and actually, you know, looking forward to developing a cordial working relationship with that commission. We're looking forward to the day when the community can support a cab driver to sit on the commission that actually oversees their industry. We believe that the people who are in an industry and directly affected by the issues in that industry are the experts around how decisions should be made, and should be able to sit in a panel of other experts around saying how our tourism industry and the transportation aspect of our tourism industry, how that should go.
How are these commissioners appointed? I mean, are they appointed by the city? I mean, how do they get to be commissioners?
Ultimately, the mayor, Carl Dean, appoints the commissioners with advice from his staff.
Well, he's been very, very sympathetic in a real sense, that in reference to a number of social issues and what. Have you approached the mayor in reference to some of the issues that you're trying to deal with? I know the Homeless Power Project and all of those projects. What is his attitude in reference to some of these things?
I can speak briefly to that, and I think Eli can as well. Can just, you know, speak about the importance of student supports around social movements in general. But we have entered into conversations with some of the mayor's staff around representation on the commission, and we're very hopeful about that. We also think it's a wonderful opportunity for the mayor's office to realize its dream of being a welcoming city and inviting legally documented immigrants to come and be a part of the decision-making democratic process of the city. So we're really looking forward to that happening.
And so there's a positive thing in reference to how things might go in reference to this particular aspect of your struggle. Is that right?
That's right.
Now, there's other things that, Eli, that you're concerned with in terms of the movement itself. What are some of the basic goals that the students at Vanderbilt University have in reference to the movement itself? I understand that this is a national movement.
Right.
Is that correct, that this is a national movement? What are some of the goals that students have in reference to, and how well represented are you when you talk about student representation in this particular organization at Vanderbilt University?
All right, well, first I just want to say that the youth has an opportunity to change the course of history. You can't be neutral on a moving train. We've got to take a stand at some point. And you see the youth doing that in the presidential campaign, getting involved increasingly behind especially Barack Obama, but all three candidates. So I think one of our main goals as an organization is to get the youth energized behind social movements in general. But in terms of the Nashville movement, I think it's important that we recognize that, yes, we're privileged students, but we're part of a larger community. We're all part of a larger body, and that we need to understand that there are people in this larger society that are being disenfranchised, that are oppressed, and that we all need to work together to break those chains, break those bonds, and we can do it. We have that potential inside of us. So I think raising that consciousness is important, and also organizing students, because I think too many students are apathetic. But I think that's also too much of a generalization, because there's a lot of students that are doing great things. And we just want to bring them together and energize more students to get involved. And eventually, you know, if we're all working together, the student community, the religious community, everyone coming together, we can do some big things, and we have a lot of hope.
Now you're also part of the Nashville Power Project.
Yes,
the Homeless Power Project. Now, what are they doing in reference to that particular organization now? What are you doing?
Well, the Nashville Homeless Power Project represents the lowest wage workers in the cities, particularly, and homeless people, certainly. And they're doing a lot of work trying to secure adequate housing, higher wages, trying to change some of the legal structure that discriminates against poor people, because poverty is not a crime. And that's their main focus. And what we're doing as a student organization is teaching Vanderbilt students about what's going on in that respect in the city, and helping them out where they need help.
It's a conscious raising kind of activity that you think that the two of you are involved in, make people aware of what is going on, and then hopefully they will become involved eventually into what you're doing. And I think that a lot of folks don't seem to understand now, and people, I think, can be in positions, not only privileged positions, but ordinary folks can be in situations and not be aware of what is going on around them. And poverty is becoming greater in a real sense, from what I understand, in terms of what is going on now, and especially those folks who are on the edge are really having a much more difficult time. Was that a fair statement that we could make in reference to some of the people that the two of you have an opportunity? What about the people that you have an opportunity to see?
I would say so, Dr. Haney. I mean, in a recent study by the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, Tennessee is the fifth highest state in the nation when you look at the widening gap between rich and poor. Now, I said that's really saying something about our state. And you have heard from people who are directly experiencing in their industries what that's like. And if the community does not come together to start to shine the light on these industries that are oppressing people, the temp labor agency that lurks in the Gulch, that's the underbelly of our tourism industry, that preys on homeless people, in fact depends on their homelessness to keep them at the lowest wages there are.
Just look at Vanderbilt University, $3 billion endowment, and our workers don't have a living wage. We have workers working 2-3 jobs just to get by. That's unacceptable to me. And Vanderbilt does some great things for their workers, especially compared to other companies in the city. But with this kind of this kind of money that they have, the resources that they have, to not provide for their own workers that are cleaning the bathrooms, that are making sure that everything's running smoothly, I think, to me, that's a disgrace.
Well, and I think that we're talking about people who are not affected by the gas situation, which is to say these are people who don't have automobiles themselves. And if people, then things are especially bad too, if they're not making living wages and then have to buy gas and et cetera. It's a real problem. And I think that the two of you represent an organization, I think, that is meeting a real need, a conscious level raising organization, I believe, and that's a very, very positive thing. We've got about 15 seconds for the two of you to make a statement before we end this segment for today. 15 seconds. 15 seconds?
Well, I just hope that people that are watching today, if this is interesting to them, that they come and get involved. There's always opportunity. I know people are busy, got a lot of things going on in their lives, but even just one day out of the week, just getting involved, organizing, raising consciousness of your friends and family can make a big impact.
Very good.
Well, you know, we're an organization that stands for these values, right? That you should be able to work a job and have a family life. And we're all coming together to make sure that happens.
Thank you. And of course, let me thank the two of you as well as other participants for coming by and giving us that excellent information. And of course, let me encourage you to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you and good morning.